This video is made for adult collectors because random ass Redecos that came out of nowhere.
The great Sentinel Prime.
These are some random Redecos. Like, they're so weird. Well, I mean, there's a Nemesis Prime variant of this mold, and I mean, Nemesis Primes are always made out of Optimuses, but this mold was hard to get, and this deco never showed up in the film, and this is a yellow Optimus Prime. These were both released for the 40th anniversary of Transformers at the Takara Transformers Expo, and I got them at ages 3 and up, not sponsored. This is Studio Series EX Rise of the Beast Nemesis Prime, and this is Missing Link C01S Sentinel Prime. That's a mouthful. A Nemesis deco, like I said, is kind of expected from a Prime, but Sentinel, this is based off the truck that Teletrans scans to make Prime in G1. That's kind of cool. I love random redecos, so this is right up my alley. There was also the blue Starscream and the chair. I just didn't want them. I don't know whether I like these decos more than their originals or not. Normally there is one I like more than the other, but these I'm torn. I'm keeping all of them, but I don't know which ones I like more than the others. Anyways, the changes on these decos are nice. Nemesis really wears these colors well. The dark gray with the silver works very nicely on here. The dark red windows and the little bits of teal, and part of me kind of wishes he had Autobot badges, but the con ones are also quite nice. He still looks cool and poses great, and I still adore this mold quite a bit. Small cannon and large blade, all on a partial budget. That's honestly really good. Oh, and his backdrop is black and white, so that's kind of funny. Sentinel, though, is interesting. These colors are really pleasant to look at. It's not an in-your-face yellow, more like an American cheese yellow, and the blue is very close on the original Prime. It's a slightly more muted shade of blue, and it's really nice with that yellow. And this is the toy deco version of the regular Missing Link Prime, so it has all the sticker details painted on, but he still comes with stickers, because why not, I guess. I love the goofy Home Depot orange on his face and the pointy blue eyes. I still dig all the chrome and the shiny paint. Mine, though, has some issues. This arm was very loose out of the box. I have fixed it, but it was really loose and And then the leg, that is also extremely loose to the point where sometimes he starts to slide if I put any sort of weight on him. I can fix those, but it's slightly annoying on something this uncommon and sort of specialty item thing. And now, because I have Sentinel, I have the trailer. I didn't get the trailer on my regular Prime because that version would not have fit in my suitcase when I did buy my Missing Link Optimus. But now I have it, and I love the grayed out stripe. And opening it up, you see all these nice, colorful, decoed things that replace those old stickers and the seats for Diaclone people. But there's also the combat deck, which has an opening cockpit, and if you slide it...
Well, that went flying.
It's got like rolling wheels, and you can roll it around. You do get a roller who doesn't have the launching gimmick. That's kind of weird. Like, he's got the pegs for it, he just doesn't actually plug in anywhere. But the missiles, they do fire, and they go off so often that I don't use them for fear of them just firing off into space.
So their posing is identical to their original figures, and like there's no real need to go into super duper detail with it other than, you know, this does this. Also, I have fixed this shoulder now. It's not loose anymore. But the leg, it's on a rivet, so that's going to be a bit of a pain because I know how to do it. It's just going to be annoying. But one of the interesting improvements to this guy was, I remember one of the biggest complaints being that the ab crunch was way too tight. Now on this figure, it's still ratcheted, but like I can very easily just trigger it, as on my original copy, it takes a little bit of force to get it to move. I don't like doing that. But on this dude, it's just, oh, look at that. I can go nuts with it. So that feels a lot nicer to use, which is good. Also, I forgot to mention the neon green matrix that is there. But otherwise, he is exactly the same. Now, one of the things that I noticed on Nemesis here was, the head is really loose and comes off very easily. But other than that, everything on this dude is a lot tighter than on this. Because my Optimus has, like, these joints are a little looser than I would like. They're not, like, really loose, but they're a little looser than I would like. On Nemesis, everything other than the head, everything is completely solid. Everything is nice and fluid. It all works. It doesn't want to, like, flop around if I put it in a very specific pose. It feels much nicer to mess with this than the Optimus. Like, the hips are... hips are really nice. They're very nice and tight. Like, they're not too tight. They're just tight enough that, like, I can hold him from here, and he's not going to flop. So, yes, his joint tolerances feel a lot nicer, and his joint tolerances don't feel a lot nicer, which is unfortunate. But again, I haven't seen anybody else that has stanky legs, so it's probably just me.
So yeah, I dig both robots a lot. They work super well with these decos. Now alt mode time.
Their transformations are pretty much identical, but a little bit more pleasant to do this, guys. I'll talk about that in a second. But, you know, Missing Link, it's just G1 Optimus again, where you fold the fists in. There is one problem with mine that I'm not a big fan of. Well, first of all, I still don't like this crotch assembly. I think it's a bit jank and slightly weird. But when you fold all this together and you're like, okay, we're going to peg the legs together. And you peg them together, and that does not stay at all. Now on my Missing Link copy, it sits at a very, very slight like open gap there, but it's nowhere near as big as that. So that is a little frustrating that that does not stay together, and then this top part here does not peg together. That my Missing Link does this, like my regular one does this as well, which is kind of funky. But then you bring this in, there you have, yay, truck. But yeah, that little back part does annoy me. Nemesis though, Nemesis is a lot of fun because it's the same thing as Optimus, but because all those joints feel nicer than Optimus Prime's, he just is a little bit more fun to move back and forth, except for this bit. Ow. There we go, got that around. It just is a lot more pleasant. And on top of all that, the black just makes everything sort of blend in better as you're going through it. You're like, oh, this is starting to look so much nicer. And then when you get to the final truck, it looks a lot nicer. There goes my dog. Because everything blends in because it's black. I'll talk about that a little bit more later. But yeah, the transformation is exactly the same. That's why I'm not going to bore you with it.
I like the Sentinel colors, but we'll get to him in a sec. I want to talk about how Nemesis is new. It's 9 o'clock in the morning. It's too early for this. How Nemesis's new colors make this alt mode work so much better. The junk on the back is the same color as the cab. And because it's all black, it blends in and looks way less sticky outy than on Prime, which, because it was like that was red and blue. It makes the truck feel more complete and less, well, that. Sentinel's really nice, but like I said, the legs don't really like gripping, which my Missing Link copy does as well, but this one's slightly worse. But now I can see the trailer with the regular Prime, and yeah, that I like that a lot. I just sort of take all the extra bits and put them in a Ziploc baggie and just throw them in the trailer. But yeah, it is solid. Both of them are. They work well for me. I'm so glad to have bought them. And yes, of course, I would recommend both of these if you can find them for retail, which is slightly above regular retail. But sometimes I see them on regular stores going for that slightly above retail or very above retail. So just make sure you're not overpaying for these. They're cool, but they are Redecos. They are exclusive, but they are Redecos. So don't pay like $300 for a Missing Link Sentinel. No, don't do that. Just pay the baseline price is what I would recommend. But that has been my look at Missing Link Sentinel and EX Nemesis Prime. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.